again. Welcome to Education 3000, to our series of videos. And I am Noemi Paimal, the founder of Education 3000. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Naomi. Hi, everybody. I'm David Fegan, the International English Program Coordinator here at P3000. This is our 6th video in our Level 1 series, Co-Recreating Education. Naomi, today we're going to look at the Pygmalion effect. What
Do you
is
know
that?
what it is? Pygmalion?
I have no idea. And for people at home who don't know either, we're gonna have a look at it now.
Here is Pygmalion.
So we can see a little bit, it's based in mythology, something like that.
Yes. It's extremely important to understand this concept. And it's coined by a couple of psychologists, actually. And it goes back to, the name is from the Greek mythology. And this famous Pygmalion, he was the king of Cyprus. And at the same time, he was a sculptor. Like all the Greeks at that time, they were artists. So this king, he had a dream. You know what he wanted to do?
What did
He
he want to do,
wanted to
Naomi?
find the perfect woman.
Oh.
And guess what? He couldn't find her.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, poor king. So he decided, nothing against women. It's just a Greek mythology, by the way. So the king made a statue of what he was considering the perfect woman. And he loved so much the statue. He really liked it. And at the end of the story, he fell in love with the statue. So much. So much. So it was like he had this deep love. And out of this love, it's a little bit like Pinocchio. The statue was Galilea. She turned out she was alive. So one day she appeared and she said, "You love me so much, here I am." And then, they were happy and all that forever. That's the whole story of
sorry to cut you off, Naomi. That last part is really important to understanding the Pygmalion effect, the fact that he wanted something so much that it became true, right? So we're going to sort of look at this now.
When you want something very much, it becomes true. That's it. So if you think a kid is very good, at the end of the story, the kid is very good at any kind of subject or in general. And the bad side of the story, if you think something's bad, or for instance, this kid won't never learn math, that's the opposite effect as well. And it's like you convince this kid not to be good at math, and it's called the self-fulfilled prophecy, and it won't be good. And now we will see some more about that. Do you want to read this one?
Yeah, so the Pygmalion effect, or the Rosenthal effect, is a psychological phenomenon wherein high or low expectations lead to improved or lower performance in a given area. So yeah, it's this self-fulfilling prophecy. We've got an image there, Naomi. I will do it because my teacher believes I can. What's the importance of this image? How does it explain this prophecy, this effect?
Yeah, it's like, let's take an example. Self-fulfilled prophecy. Let's say you tell your kids, you go to a party on Saturday. Please don't drink, don't get high, don't have drugs and all that. And you start to pour on him by saying all the time, don't. It's like you have some expectation he could do it, you see? So the young person will go to the party, and in order to all the projection of the mother, you have to fulfill the prophecy. My mother was afraid I would drink too much, so I have to drink. Or when you say to a kid, don't run so fast, you will fall. So the brain just reminds fall. That's the way that it works. And then you have to fall to fulfill the prophecy and to fulfill what the adult, especially if it is an adult you love, like your teacher or your parents, and you have to do it. So it's kind of tricky, and you have to be very careful what we think, what we do, what we project. It's called a projection, actually, on the student and on everybody, and even on yourself. If you say, I can't, I'm not good, I can't do it, guess what? We won't do it. You see, it's like to self-convince yourself. We have a little movie in Spanish, but this movie is so goes straight to the point. Would you like to see the movie and you help us with the translation, Dave?
Yeah, let's have a look at this movie.
So let's go. Let's see. Good.
So it's something that we all know in a certain way that nobody explained to you. But before your child is in a race, you say, you're going to fall. You're not good enough for this.
Can you repeat for us, because the sound is too high?
Sure.
Like this. What was the beginning about?
So it sort of said, you know, like we all sort of know about this. It might have happened to us. If you say to your child, for example, before a race, you're going to fall, you're not good enough. So that's the point we're at. Obviously, it might happen. Yeah, it sort of reinforces that. The kid's going to fall. There's no other option. Because you made the child believe it's possible and something that pushes them to fulfill that prophecy. But if you, instead of saying that, you say, run, fly, don't give up, and you don't fall, I'm here. If you fall, I'm here to pick you up. This kid's going to, you know, play better than they ever thought. It's an unavoidable responsibility that you have as a parent or a teacher.
Sorry, I went out of the movie.
Ese niño jugará mejor que si nunca le hubieras dicho nada. Hay una responsabilidad ineludible en cómo hablamos, en cómo tratamos a los demás, porque
So we have this unavoidable responsibility in how we talk to people and how we treat them. Because you have the option every day to sort of cut people's wings or cut them down, talking about fear and uncertainty. Or you could let your words push them towards their objectives, towards achieving them, believing in sort of this infinite capacity that within humans we have that capacity, I guess. It's obviously called the Pygmalion effect, and it works in any moment of our lives. See, run, fly, don't give up, or don't hold yourself back ever.
That's run, fly, don't give up.
Don't give up, exactly. So it wasn't the best translation, but the idea was there. If you speak to people in a negative way and cut them down and tell them they can't, in a certain way, they're going to fulfill this prophecy. But you have the other option as a parent, as a teacher, or just a citizen of society, because as we saw, this is not just for children. Obviously, we're looking at it in sort of the context of teaching and being parents. But if I say to you, Naomi, you can't do that as well, I'm again fulfilling that or making you fulfill the prophecy. We have the other option, on the other hand, to say you can do it. It's possible. So I mean, two distinct choices there with the Pygmalion effect. No, the Pygmalion effect, that you can really make somebody suffer and fall, or you can use it for good, for the opposite.
And it worked like that. I want to go back to this slide. Remember this kid? What they did, actually, that the test they did in the state, they had two groups of children. And they had a new teacher. So they told the new teacher, look, this group A are the good kids, bright. You won't have any problem. And the group B, they are terrible. They won't do. I mean, they are very mediocre. So it was a new teacher, he believed it. So he started his classes, and the class that he was told they were good, they had excellent results. They were good. And the class he was told they were not good or mediocre, they didn't have good results. But it was not true. They reversed the class. That means the kid he thought they were the bright one, which is awful to say and to separate like that. Okay. They were the kids with very low notes, no grades, low grades, and vice versa. So with this test, it proves that by just thinking and just by decreting they are the good and they are the bad, the good group and the bad group, you have the result. At least they say 80% of more chance that it will go the way you project. Does that make sense, right?
It makes perfect sense. I think probably our viewers can also relate to this. I'm sure at some point in your lives, maybe you thought you couldn't do something and surprised yourself by doing it.
So you have to be kind of careful. Then they did again in the army, another test. And there were new trainers and they told this group is good, this group is not good. And that exactly the same. They got good results and the bad results the way it was told to. And it was just the groups were reserved. No. It was even worse. The group were random people, but just by just telling them they are going to do good and this group is going to do bad, it fulfilled the prophecy. They had this kind of result. So it's very important to consider that. So one, never judge or separate or make categories, and two, be positive.
Yeah, so
all the time, as a parent, as a teacher, and for oneself.
exactly.
And
Think positive.
think positive, because even if you think this kid will never make it in mathematics, just if you're thinking, you already project. Amazing. But if you think they are all great and they will all make it, that's it. Act positive, like your body movement, your all action should be towards something positive. Don't be negative, never. It will lower really the energy and the immune system, by the way, and talk positive. Each word we speak should be positive and well and beautiful as well. And avoid manipulation, because you can manipulate too. So that's why Pygmalion was criticized. Because, for instance, if a parent always dreamt to be, let's say, a doctor and couldn't do it, he would project on the child, be a doctor, be the first one, and push. And then you have the opposite, because it's pure stress and the kids can't carry the load of the parents, but plus his own life. So never manipulate with Pygmalion effect. See? Or I don't know. I want to divorce. I want to divorce. I want to divorce. I want to divorce. And you say it 1,000 times to get it. This is manipulation.
Yeah, it's some pretty clear points there about being positive, but not manipulating, right?
Yes. And now it's very trendy, or it's in fashion. For instance, a positive affirmation. So please, if you have a classroom, if you are not online, you can have positive affirmation on the wall. You can have like stickers in the morning, and at random you have your positive affirmation. And it's like a culture of being positive. It's like the culture of peace, a culture of being positive and to always generate this kind of energy. And this is exactly what we want in education, but as well in the health system. If you think you are going to die or you have a cancer, you will have it. I mean, be careful here too, in the enterprise, in the social life, in all sectors. And it's great. And if you can teach that from very early age, like 3 years old, 2 years old, even from the womb, be positive, be your baby in the womb. That's it. It's a great gift you can give to your baby. And that's it for today.
Yeah, so guys, if you want to check out any of the videos or get in touch, check out our YouTube, our website, our Facebook. You can get in contact via email as well. All of these are just below in the description, so you can click on them or copy and paste, whatever works for you. Naomi, that was our 6th video today. What's the next one going to be about?
Oh, the next one is one of my favorite subjects as well. And it's called positive or negative as well. Stimulation circuit for learning. Extremely important to understand how the information goes from the senses and all the way to the frontal lobe. And this is a must to understand this process in education.
So we've got a lot of interesting stuff for you guys in the next video as well. And in the series, like we said, a series of 25 videos, this first series of 25 in our co-recreating education here at P3000, Education 3000.
And for today, we have to repeat this affirmation to each other. Like run, fly, don't give up.
Don't give up.
Okay, 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Run, fly,
fly,
don't give up. For you, David, too. Fly, run, don't give up.
Don't give up.
To me.
Run, fly, and don't give up, Naomi.
And to everybody here, run, fly,
fly,
don't give up.
up.
Thank you.
See you in the next video.